Ahoy sailors, and welcome back to the summer soiree and day 2 of our 3-day sailabration on board Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. Are you ready for some more vitamin C? So it's time to wake up and get ready for a day at sea. With cameras in hand and towels and bag, we headed up to the galley for breakfast. We spent some time having breakfast and then went for a walk around the ship. We headed to Get Lost, the next cruise desk, to book one of the voucher deals we use on a future trip, and it was still only 9:15 AM, and we were Logan's first customers. The high street with the shops would open at 10 AM, so we waited around, took some videos and photographs before walking the high street to have a look at the prices of items, which we could only see through the shutter bars the evening before. After browsing in the shops, we headed back up to our room to pick up some things, and we headed up to the galley for a cup of tea. The weather was a little cold outside, so we sat in the galley and we had some tea. We decided to have a second breakfast, well, brunch, and had some salad and fries. As the sun came out and it brightened up, we headed outside to the aquatic club and sat by the big beds near the pool. It was a little shaded, it got a little cold, and the darker clouds came over, so we headed back to the room. We ordered room service, which was chicken noodle soup and then some tea, as there are no tea and coffee making facilities in the room.
That's proper chicken soup.
We were really impressed with the bags that the room service came in. It was a really good way of doing it too. Paul went to get another tea in the galley and I sat in the balcony hammock reading my book. He messaged me to say that he'd gone down to the shops, so he asked me to meet him on the high street. We had some sailor loot, Virgin Voyages words for onboard spend. We got a model of the ship and a few other things. Our app kept crashing this afternoon, so we'd missed the shows we had booked. We decided that if we got back in, we would take a screenshot of the booked activities so we didn't miss things. We changed and then headed out to the Wake restaurant for dinner. The Wake is a premium restaurant at Steakhouse on board. The app hadn't been working well on board for anyone, and I hope they do get this fixed. It had meant the restaurant had double bookings and problems. We were in the queue for about 40 minutes with no communication except some of the whispers coming down the line about what was happening. Now most people would have said, why didn't you move on? When we looked at the app to see where else we might be able to eat, all the other places were full, and that would mean a trip back to the galley for food, and this salty sea bear wanted a steak. Paul called Sailor Services to advise that something needs to be done as people in the queue were getting restless. They finally arrived and walked down the line with champagne for everyone. When the food arrived, it was lovely and delicious, but unfortunately the whole experience has left a bitter taste, so it would only rank third at steakhouses I've ever eaten in at sea. Chops Grill and Royal Caribbean still stands as my number one, with the Veranda on Cunard a close second. After eating, we walked around the ship for a bit to help our dinner go down because we'd eaten so late. ended up at the Manor nightclub, which is the most glamorous entrance ever, and it's probably the most Instagrammable place on the ship. It's funny because this club and disco was packed, but other ships have been removing them. The age range on board is from 18 to over 80s, and a lot of the upper age group are still up at this time and busting some shapes on the dance floor, and this was great to see. We stayed in the Manor till the small hours as the music was excellent, it was really busy. 3 AM ensued and it was time to retire. Good night all. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3.